Hey guys, it's Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be focusing on the prepping process. I'm going to be using tips today, so I'm going to focus on that, show you all my tips and tricks for prepping your nails. First thing I'm going to do is I have my bare nails. These I just took off my last set, so they're looking pretty crusty. I'm going to start off by clipping the excess length. This is optional. If you are looking to grow your nails out, you do not have to cut away the excess length. I usually don't, but I'm feeling it today, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, here's what they're looking like. So I'm going to round up the shape a little bit more with a file. Now that the shape is all done, I'm gonna grab a cuticle pusher, a little handstand, and I'm going to push back my cuticles and also scrape up any dead cuticle that's left on the nail plate. Okay, so if cutting your cuticles is something you are comfortable with, you could go ahead and use some cuticle nippers like this. I recommend using some type of cuticle softener so that you are not cutting dry cuticles. If you're not comfortable with cutting your cuticles, you absolutely do not have to. It just helps with the appearance and the look. But if you want to and you're not comfortable using the cuticle nippers and you have an electric file, there is a bit that helps you with your cuticles. A circular bit like this will help clean up your cuticle area if you want to use your electric drill if you have one. But like I said, you absolutely do not need this step. It is personal preference. So I'm actually not going to do that this time. I did my cuticles the last set that I did, so I'm going to skip that. The next step is going to be to rough up your natural nails. For this, you can use a 100-180 grit nail file, a buffing block. You can also use a sanding bit if you're using a electric drill. Roughing up your natural nails is going to put some scratches in the nails so that the Polygel or whatever nail enhancement product you're using can better adhere to your nail. If you have too smooth of a nail, there's a chance it would pop right off. So you want to go ahead and do that. The next step is going to be to put on some tips. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get all of the dust off first. Alright, so here are the tips that I'm going to be using. They are stiletto tips. Now, not only do I not have like the picture of the brand on here, but I also have dropped this before, so all of these sizes are like not together. So this is going to take me a minute. I'm going to go ahead and size them off camera. When you are sizing, you want to make sure that the tip fits your nail perfectly. You want to make sure that it fits from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it to be too small and you don't want it to be too big. Alright, so I went ahead and did that off camera. Here I just have some random nail glue. You literally can use any nail glue you have. Kiss nail glue is pretty good, so if you're looking for a specific recommendation. Now what you can do is go ahead and apply your tips like that with some glue. You can apply the glue to either the back of the tip or your nail, the tip of your nail, whichever works best for you. But something I like to do is to make tips fit a little bit better on me. I'm going to clip the edge away, that little point, because that point I usually have a hard time getting it to stick down. But when I do it like this and I only have that little nub to stick down, it just happens a lot easier. So I only clip off a little bit. I don't clip off the entire wing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to each of them. stick them on with some glue, and then we'll move on to the next step. Instead of speeding up the footage and showing you all of my nails, I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing to my thumb. So I put the glue on, I'm pressing it down on the tip, and then I'm squeezing the little wings to make sure that they stick down. And you can see how it turned out as I'm working on that next one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip through the rest of the footage. So here's what they're looking like. I'm gonna be doing a coffin shape, so the next step is to shape them up. I'm gonna be using a tip cutter to get these to the length that I want. If you don't have a tip cutter, you can also just use some regular nail clippers. What you would do is clip where you want it on each side like that, and you'll easily be able to pull it off. So I'm actually just gonna use my tip cutters for this. They all look about the same size. So now I'm gonna go ahead and fix up the shape. So here's my shape. I actually forgot that I wanted to make my pinky a stiletto shape. So what I'm going to do is take some cuticle nippers just because they're straight, and I'm going to cut away the excess tip. And if you don't know, stiletto shape is just that same shape I had in the beginning, the shape that comes to a point. So as you can see, there's just a tiny bit of straightness up there. I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen this up to a pointier point. Alright, so now that the tips are glued on, you do have to do a little bit more surface filing, because the same way you have to remove the shine and put some scratches in your natural nail, you have to do the same thing to the tip. We're going to go ahead and rough up the tips, as well as try and blend in that line where the tip and the nail meet. So here's what they're looking like with the tips all buffed up and blended into the natural nail. Now we're done with the prep, it's time to prime. I'm going to dehydrate my nails with my Model 1's Nail Prep Dehydrator. This only has to go on the natural nail. You don't have to apply this to the tips, so I'm just focusing it on the bottom. If it does get on the tip, it's not a problem. It just doesn't need it, so there's no point in wasting product. So with the dehydrator, we just got rid of all of the oils and dirt on our nails and dust. To prime, I'm using my Young Nails Protein Bond. Same thing with this, it only has to go to the natural nail, so I'm just going to do one layer of this. If you have a problem with your nails popping off and you're using primer, I suggest applying 2 layers. So some tips I have for primer are, make sure that it does not get on the skin at all. You really want to focus this on the natural nail. Once you apply primer, this is a product where you want to allow it to sit and dry for a little bit, and you also do not want to touch it at all. The primer, it's kind of just adding a layer of adhesion between the product and your nail. I have my Macart base coat. I'm going to apply 1 layer of this to my nails. Now this is personal preference, whether you want it to only go on your natural nail or if you want it to go on the entire nail. I usually go ahead and apply it to the entire nail, but like I said, personal preference. After I'm done, I'm curing this for 60 seconds. Okay, so the prepping process is all finished. Once you are all base coated up, it's time for you to move into the polygel application and filing and top coating and all that fun stuff. This is the design I came up with after filming that prepping process. I really like them. I think they're so wintry, so cute. I cut them out of this video because of how long it already was, but if you're interested, comment down below. I do have the footage for it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my tips on how to prep your nails for polygel using tips. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!